Well, it feels like I've already wasted half the day because I had to go to town this morning to get some supplies, and you know how that goes. It feels like you're wasting the day, but in reality, this is stuff that I need. But I'm back at the ranch now so I can get back to doing the things that I enjoy. And I've already noticed an unexpected problem here that I don't think I'm gonna be able to deal with today. 2 new leaks in the water trough. One of them is actually pretty bad, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the trough is kind of getting in a twist here because the ground that it's sitting on is sort of caving away. So we've got several issues that need to be addressed here, and I think the only way this is really going to be fixed in such a way that it will last through the winter is I need to pull the water trough out of here, dump a load of gravel where it goes, and then kind of make a nicer foundation for it to sit on. Like I said, that's not going to happen today, but it's something that's going to have to happen soon. First thing that needs to happen today is I need to set a bailout for these cows, because I'm sure it's getting towards that time of day when they'll be expecting it. And then I need to put the tractor here on the trailer, run it back over to the hayfield. I think I was claiming that I was done with all my groundwork over there, and then it kind of dawned on me that I still need to pull drains. So I want to try to get that done today. When I'm done with all that, I need to walk through the working corral and get everything a very detailed once over, because tomorrow I'm going to gather the cattle up in here and separate the calves. So I just want to make sure that everything's ready to do that, so that when we're ready to go, there's no surprises or things that happen that I don't want to happen. Got a lot to do today, and time's wasting. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Is this feeling familiar yet? Well, that bale covered some ground. I must have baled it up pretty slow. You can see in this check here, this is where I fed them yesterday, and I won't say they're eating every last stem out of that hay, but they're cleaning it up pretty good. Callie, come on back. In the last video where I fed the cows, you guys saw me put out the first bale of the year, and the way that the cows ran up to that, I know some people kind of got the idea that maybe the cows weren't being fed enough or they were hungry or something like that. And I just wanted to clear that up. I know those of you that raise livestock know that that's not what was going on. What you saw there was the animals' excitement to get something new in their mouth. They've been eating grass all summer long, and when they see you put a bale out, they just get really excited because there's a little bit of variety in their diet now, and that's why you see them charge up to the bale the way that they do. So I just want to make sure we get that cleared up. It's kind of like if you go out to dinner at your favorite restaurant, and when you get something that you really like that you haven't had in a long time, you're gonna dig right in. Well, same thing with the cows. Well, here we are at the hayfield, and it's something I do get asked a lot. It's like how far apart everything is from each other. The hayfield is probably about 3 or 4 miles from the ranch, so it's not very far at all, but it's kind of, actually, I almost wish it was further or I wish it was shorter, because it's that distance where it's almost just as fast to just drive the tractor over here than it is to hook the trailer up, load it, get it here, unload it. So I'm always in this dilemma of like, do I trailer, do I ride? Today it was an easy decision because I had camera gear and Cowley with me, but other times it is quite the dilemma. And the last time we were out here, it was pretty dark and hazy, so I'll give you a shot of the field. I'm pretty happy with how well the ground worked down this year. Some of you might remember in years past, if you've been with the channel for a while, that I have this 3-point like ditcher attachment thing that I threw together. It works okay, but it's never really worked that great. So this year I'm gonna try something else. My uncle's got a 3-point blade just down the road here that I can borrow this year, so I'm gonna try that out and see if it works better for pulling these drains, and that might be what we use from here on out. Or if it works just as good as the contraption that I made, then you know, it's kind of 6 to 1, half dozen to the other. Okay, you stay here. Watch the truck for me, huh? You can do that? Yeah, you can do that. Okay. Where we're going is not real far. We probably won't encounter another car, and Callie probably could run down there with me, but I just don't like dogs to make a habit out of going out into the road, so she's gonna stay here. Well, this is what we're after. Got it hooked up. We'll take it back over to the field and get it adjusted how I want it, but I think this is gonna work good. First thing I gotta do is try to get this bolt loose so that I can tip the blade over on its side. And of course, I don't have the right size socket, which would really make this a lot easier. A pipe wrench is it's something that I didn't want to do, but it looks like I'm not the first person to do this, so we'll just kind of hold our nose and see if we can make it work. Oh man, this just might not go. Oh my goodness, yeah. I think that needs to come off with a torch, honestly. Well, I don't think that bolt's coming off unless I have the proper tools, which I don't. Of course, seems like I never do when I'm out in the field. I probably need to do something about that. But fortunately, there is another way to get some angle on this blade. I was hoping to do both things to get a little bit of extra angle, but let's adjust the 3-point arms and see if that's enough. Well, I don't think that's it's really doing what I hoped it would. Well, this is not at all looking like I hoped it would. I'm not sure if this will work or not, but it is worth a try. So let's run down and give it a try. Probably would have been smart to come down here with a match and burn this off before I try to do it. We'll see what happens. If that helps any. It seems like whenever I pull drains in this field, I'm never completely happy with how they turn out, but these are probably about as good as I can get them. In this field, the lowest spot is back here behind me where you see those trees. So I've got a bunch of drains pulled kind of into that corner, and then hopefully that water can catch the main drain, which goes out and drains out of the field. I know it's kind of confusing just to hear me say it, but that's, you know, basically what it does. The water goes to that corner and then goes on out that way. With the water drain, without me pulling the drains, yeah, I'm sure that it mostly would, but what I have seen happen in the past when I didn't have drains is that this low spot here will just pool up with water, and it'll sit there, it drowns all the hay. One year when I cut this field, I still had a pond down here, so I kind of laughed because while I was cutting the field, there were ducks in it. So hopefully having the drains out here will prevent that from happening again, but if it rains as much as it did last year, I don't think these drains will really do much. But I mean, you figure they gotta help a little. Did you do a good job watching the truck? Did you? Ramps are so heavy. All right, looks like we're all buckled in. Don't need to take that home with us. That could stay here. Let's head back to the ranch. And we're back. How we doing, boys? How's your hay holding out? Oh, pretty good still, pretty good. You're the only one that doesn't feel the need to get up, huh? Get on it. Ribbit. So tomorrow is the big day. We'll be weaning calves, and when that happens, the bulls here are gonna need a new home because I don't want them to be in with the heifers that we're keeping as replacements. Granted, they're only about 8 or 9 months old, but as I have found out in the past, sometimes that is old enough to get bred. Now, as many of you know, this is the whole reason that I built the bull pen here, was to, you know, have a good place to keep bulls when they weren't out with the herd. So I just wanted to do kind of one final walk through the corral here today. I feel like I have really been looking at this a lot this year because of all the work that I've done over here. But still, it has not yet been put to the test, so it's not a bad idea to just walk through. I mean, this is not a bad idea to do whether you've done work or not. Just walk through your corrals, walk the route that the cattle will go when you're gonna work them, and just see if anything jumps out to you. One thing that I did notice here, and this is something that I knew about, but I just never thought to come fix it yet. But this gate here on the lane leading into the working corral, I put a little piece of angle iron on the white post so that it had something to hold itself up, because a lot of times what I do is I'll like climb up on this fence here and walk to the back. If I've got this alleyway full of calves and sometimes I need to get on the other side of them, rather than try to like shimmy up in between them along the fence, which is pretty dangerous, I will opt to like walk along the fence. Got a handrail now, that's pretty nice. So because of that, I would have ended up putting a lot of weight on this gate, and I didn't want to overly stress the hinge. So I've got the piece of angle iron here, and it's kind of creating a sharp corner here that if we get a lot of cows walking through here, there's a chance somebody could catch their foot or their leg on this. So I think what I will do in the morning tomorrow before I bring everybody in is cut that corner off with the grinder and just smooth it out so that that's not a hazard anymore. All right, come through here. I like to go through and check all my gates and latches, and I usually find that they need a little shot of penetrating oil to loosen things up a little bit, and that gate is no exception. That one's actually pretty loose. And last but not least is the chute itself. We'll just make sure everything's working smoothly. I mean, I've been messing around with this a lot here lately, so I pretty well know that everything's in good working order, but you know, we'll just do it one more time. Why not? I want to thank everybody. After, I think it was the last video when I was talking about some of the issues that I was having with the chute, a bunch of you guys left comments about that. A lot of you emailed me as well with your ideas, and I just want to thank you. I really do appreciate that. What are you doing up there? Well, everything in this corral looks like it is ready to work, and I'm excited to try out all the new things that I've been working on this summer. And especially not only in the working facility, and you guys know what all we've done in here, but this fence line that I built that separates the little field from the corral here. I am very excited because when we wean the calves, that fence is going to be what separates the mamas and the babies. And it's just going to be so nice to not be constantly worried about somebody breaking through the fence and getting back together. In years past, what I've done is I've just locked the calves up in the little corral so that they couldn't like really see their mothers. And I much rather prefer to do the fence line weaning method, which is, you know, the calves could reach their heads through the fence, they could touch noses, they still are well aware that their mother is right there next to them and with them, and it's supposed to be a lot less stressful for both calves and moms. I'm also excited to get these calves across the scale and figure out what their gain numbers are, see who is the all-star calf of the year, and just kind of get my hands on all of those numbers. The more data that I can collect, I just feel like I'm gonna learn a lot this year about what I can expect as far as performance from these calves. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.